Every day in the USA, people find themselves in court.
State of Michigan versus Mary Kona, file 25-43856-SM, set for a status conference.
James Dick on behalf of Ms. Kona. Ms. Kona is appearing via Zoom.
All right, I do see Ms. Kona. Mr. Dick, do we have a resolution of this matter?
Again, not quite. This is another of Ms. Bruker's files. We would ask for a brief adjournment here. However, I did submit a letter to the prosecutor's office. I tried to submit it to Ms. Bruker. However, her being out kind of delays this a little bit. But I wanted to readdress bond, and this is a letter from Ms. Kona's doctor. It's specifically, pardon me, first I better ask if the court would allow me to address the bond in this matter again.
Yep, go ahead.
So Ms. Kona has been under the care of a caregiver since an accident. I believe it was back in 2014 was the accident. She had a severe traumatic brain injury that she has since been in daily therapies, takes medication on a regular basis, and has not been without a caregiver or out in the general public, really, as her mental health status and this traumatic brain injury kind of impair her ability to be around people in general. The issue here is that if Ms. Kona is not permitted to go home, she's going to continue to face a mental decline, as noted by her doctor. There's also an additional issue where Ms. Kona not being able to be around people. She doesn't have a place to stay, and she's been camping, but due to the weather changes, she's not going to be able to camp outside here very soon. She did try going to the E-Free Church and get some assistance through them. However, because of the number of people and everything, she's not able to function there. Her son is her caregiver. He's also the victim in this matter. And he did appear at the last hearing pleading with the court to allow her to return home. I do understand that the prosecutor has a position and will need to object to this request. But based on the doctor's letter, Your Honor, and the circumstances of everything, we are also pleading with the court to allow Ms. Kona to return home pending the outcome of this matter.
What assurance do I have, Mr. Dick, that it's not going to be a repeat of the behavior that we had that led to the charges in this case?
Your Honor, due to the nature of her injury and whatnot, there is no guarantee that something will never happen again like this. If I may just refer to some of the statements made to police in the police report briefly, they did appear that they were delusions at that time, and the officers noted it as such. The son, when he was here at the last hearing, he stated to the court that this has never happened before. And Your Honor, in all honesty, The only way to guarantee nothing like this ever happens again would be to put Miss Kona into a box locked away from everybody. But that's not how we generally handle mental health issues in our society. And there are always going to be some inherent risks when people are dealing with mental health issues or traumatic brain injury issues. Her ongoing therapy and medication and such has been for many, many years what has kept her stable. It is my understanding that there was an alcohol beverage or two consumed during this incident, and it's my position that that likely had some part in this. So if we could perhaps require that Ms. Kona doesn't consume any alcoholic beverages and continues her therapy and medication regimen, I think, of course, this is just a opinion, Your Honor, but I think that we could avoid any future incidents of this nature.
And I appreciate the fact that there are no guarantees, and I guess I'm not necessarily even looking for a guarantee, but I don't know that I've seen any treatment indicated since the incident specific to this incident. I'm looking at the Munson Healthcare report of the nurse practitioner, Tabitha Pardo, who says that Ms. Kona was evaluated today. But in reality, the nurse practitioner, I don't know that she is the therapist. That doesn't appear to be the therapist. This appears to be a note from a medical doctor that says that the client is having increased anxiety and there is a concern about declining mental health, but it doesn't say that there's actually any treatment being offered or that she's seeking any additional treatment based on this incident. So I would be in a much easier frame of mind to grant your request if I knew that there was some ongoing treatment. You mentioned that, but I don't know what that is. I don't know that her current medications have been adjusted as a result of this incident. I don't know that she's been counseled by anybody about the use of alcohol in conjunction with any medication that she's taking. I don't know that there's anybody coming to her the home and available to stop in on a regular basis or a consistent basis to make sure that there aren't any issues going on between tensions between the caregiver and her, all of which would be helpful to me to know whether or not she can be trusted to go back into that. And I would hate for her to get herself in any more trouble at this point. And quite frankly, I'm not necessarily doing this to protect the victim. This is to protect her because she's in a fragile state of mind, and I recognize that. I simply don't want to put her back in the exact same situation that she was in before and have her not be able to adapt to the necessities of comporting herself with the requirements of the law. And so I appreciate that she's having difficulty living someplace, but that doesn't stop her from getting into an apartment. It doesn't stop her from renting on a short-term basis a house or a cabin. It doesn't stop her caregiver from moving out and him going someplace else and her living in the home. All of those things could happen, but she, at this point, appears to me to say, I don't want those things to happen because she hasn't made them happen. And that may be a product of her mental health issues too. I simply don't know that. I'm not trying to force her into living out in the cold. And I get it that it's getting down into the 40s at night. But I think she has other options, but she's not availing herself of those options. At least I don't see that happening at this point. And I'm sure that I'm aware of how the Eat Free Church works. During the daytime hours, there's a relatively small amount of people that are at the church. So she could go there Monday through Friday and talk with the people at the office and see if they have any financial assistance they could give to her. The United Way works the same way. She does not have to go to the church or to United Way where there's a large group of people around there. But so either one of those two places she could access. She could even access them by phone, quite frankly. So I think there's some options here. And I'm simply not seeing any options being taken care of other than I want to do what I want to do. And it's not helpful to me at this point. Mr. Fortier, is there any other concerns from your point of view?
No, Judge, I think the court covered it.
All right. So let me do this. Mr. Dick, I've made some suggestions to you about what would help me to resolve this problem. If you want to present those by way of a motion or by way of a stipulation to Mr. Fortier and say, hey, now I've done the things that the judge asked for, can we stipulate to a bond reduction? I'd be happy to review that. Or if Mr. Fortier is not comfortable stipulating to it, I'd be happy to put on a relatively quick Zoom motion hearing and review this matter again in the future because I don't want Ms. Kona exposed to the elements unnecessarily. On the other hand, I think she does have some reasonable options that could assist her with her immediate concerns while she's getting covering the therapy and medical issues that I've raised in the meantime. So for today's purposes, I'm going to deny the bond motion, but I'll allow you to bring that again in the future very quickly if you need to.
Excuse me, sir. May I please speak?
Yes, you may.
And I would like to respond to what you said. And although I have been homeless, I also have been meeting with my doctor. We are working on a plan so that this doesn't occur again. We've recognized why it did occur. I have been put on new medications. I am going to support groups. And as soon as I can obtain housing, I will obtain transportation. I will be resuming my other care. I have missed 2 appointments for a home health nurse practitioner that was scheduled to come into my home in July and August to meet with my caretaker and myself, but because I can't be there, those appointments on my end have been missed. Also, as far as my financial needs go, I am the homeowner. I am responsible for paying all of the bills there. And so so my monies outside of the home are limited because I'm still maintaining a home and I'm trying to get my vehicle back on the road and I have homeowners insurance and all of those other things like everybody else on my Social Security disability. I do go to support groups. I have met with the E-Free Church, and I am not outside 24 hours a day. I am just sleeping in a tent because that's what's comfortable for me, as opposed to I don't do well around a lot of other people. So sleeping in a place where there's strangers and people I don't know, my choice to do this is because I am in a lot of duress and I feel that those might be triggers for me being overly stimulated and in a situation that's uncomfortable. So my choice to sleep outside was so that I don't do anything else again. I'm doing it for my own self-care. And I work. Well, it doesn't matter what I did. It matters what I'm doing now. And so even though I'm not home, I'm still as serious about my rehabilitation as I was from day one. I haven't stopped. I'm still doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And so I could be doing more in the stability and safety of my home, and I could be meeting with those people that come to my home. My doctor, I have to get up. The light keeps going out unless you don't care about that. And so anyways, I just want to say that I'm not making choices just because I don't care and I'm just doing my own thing. I constantly stay in contact with my phone is Wi-Fi only. I'm at the library and places where I can pick up Wi-Fi. This is what I'm spending my days doing. And I spend a lot of time talking to my attorney. I'm trying to really do the right thing. And my self-care, I'm almost 66. I've always owned my own homes. A 3-state license, owned my own business, worked in the medical field for 40 years. I've raised 1 child and 4 foster kids. I'm not a slouch. I'm not just not doing anything. I'm really trying. I didn't ask for this accident to happen, but I dealt with it. My days for years have been nothing but surgeries and rehabilitations and therapists and counselors to get me to where I am now. And I was doing so good that I chose to try to take on more responsibility because that's who I always was. And I had so many things going on, not realizing that I was overwhelmed. This is how I got into the situation because
All right.
I'm still the same person I was before the accident in my mind. I still want to be productive. I still want to achieve. I still want to have a happy, healthy life. And even though I'm not at home, I'm still trying to do this. But I would be able to do more of those things. I would be able to obtain medical records. I would be able to do more of the things that you want to see if I was at home. Because those things are there.
All right.
The medical records are there. Those
Thank
things.
you. Thank you, Ms. Conan. I appreciate the information that you're giving me. I think most of what you're telling me right now is something that Mr. Dick is going to need to work with you on to give that information to me in a manner that I can handle it. I'm not saying that you can't go home, but I am saying that you can't have contact with the victim of the incident, even though that is your son, and I'm well aware of that. Mr. Dick may be able to have contact with your son, and if he's willing to move out, then you may be able to move in, and that may solve most of the problems. I don't know. There may be additional information that you have access to that I simply don't have right now, and that would be of assistance to me if any future motion is given. So I've given some advice to Mr. Dick about what to do in the future. If he's able to assist you with those things, he certainly can, and I'll consider those in the future. But for today, the answer is no, I'm not satisfied yet. So thank you very much. That's all.
Thank you, Ron.